I'm very happy to be here in Austria, in your studio today, and talk about our collaboration.
Yeah, thank you so much as well. So, yeah, I have a very, very special guest today, Florence Ménard Cuepaliztli.
Exactly.
She's visited me all the way from France today, and we've been knowing each other for quite a while now. And yeah, we are here today to share, basically to share our stories, to share our own path as artists that has led to so much more. And we also want to inspire you on this path as artists, in whichever form you express your art.
Cacao mamita, medicina sagrada.
So we have a cup of cacao to accompany us, just to introduce our team member. That's also part of our practice and part of our rituals that we just love
and pray and get the medicine of the cacao to get to the heart, to get to the core of what we'd like to do and what we'd like to offer.
Yeah, so Florence, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you have come from, not just from France, but artistically in your life so far?
Well, it's a long story that I'll try to make short. Maybe I pull back to 2008, let's say, because this was the start of the summer seminar in Italy that Lawrence Caruana started, my husband, because he worked way back in the year 2000 for the painter Ernst Fuchs. And Ernst Fuchs was Austrian. He was part of the group of the fantastic realists here in Austria, and Lawrence Caruana and other artists like Amanda Sage, Andrew Gonzalez worked with him in Austria in the Apocalypse Chapel of Klagenfurt. And some years later, people were asking Lawrence, how do you paint like this? Because through working with Ernst Fuchs, Lawrence, as well as Amanda and Andrew, learned the Misch technique. So what were the keys of this Misch technique? People were asking, sending messages from the internet, finding Lawrence's work. And that's how he started the seminar in this beautiful eco-village that we found by chance in Italy. It's near Ventimiglia. It's called Torri Superiore. You've been here many times.
Yes.
We will also talk about that. And we found this magical place, which is a medieval village. It's all like one big building, all the houses are attached to each other. It was abandoned, and this group of people, partly Italian, partly Germans actually, arrived there and started renovating the place. And we arrived some years later, visited the place. There was already rooms where they could have guests. They were cooking for everyone. They live in a community. It's a community, and we started with our first seminar in this very tiny studio, which became later the yoga room, and then we had a bigger studio, which came over the years, was better and better with windows, etc. And we continued this seminar. So coming back to my own path. Originally, I don't come at all from an artistic background. I did like business school, I worked in tourism, event management, and then for years I was a press attaché in a cultural domain. So I was promoting exhibitions to the journalists, to the press. And it's by helping Lawrence with the seminars, and then later on in 2013 we had the opportunity to come to Vienna because the manager of Ernst Fuchs invited us and told us we could have a room in the Palais Palfi near the Fantasten Museum in the same building where Ernst Fuchs had his studio to open a real school, an academy. So we called it the Vienna Academy of Visionary Art, and it was like such a transformative time for me on all levels. I became a co-director of the academy with my husband Laurence Caruana, and I was managing the school, and at the same time I started learning painting because I was just so inspired by the teachers that we were inviting to teach. So we started teaching the Misch technique, but then early enough we realized that we needed to have a broader offer of other artists painting acrylics, and we had airbrush with Andrew Gonzalez, we had all different techniques. And I was always opening the door of my office and then seeing what are they doing, and then I started painting, and something magic happened. I actually started painting with Amanda Sage at the seminar in Italy. This was the first time I picked up the brush, and she put some colors on my palette, and she said, just play with the paint. And that play with the paint thing, I just loved it. I grabbed the brushes and I was just mixing skin tones. My first painting was a self-portrait, so it was really hard.
That's a tough one, to start with.
It was really hard. I struggled, but I had this this pleasure of mixing the old paint. There was something magic about it, and this was the spark that started. And so coming back to the academy, I was holding space by doing some work in the office, but then every Friday I told the students, I'm not in the office, I'm coming to paint with you in the studio. And that's how I started, that's how I learned to paint, by being with the other students, by absorbing what the teachers were teaching, conveying, transmitting. And I never stopped.
It's good you did not. And you really evolved as an artist and also as a human being in those years.
As
definitely.
Well. Yes. Vienna transformed me to be an artist, but also all the other things. And the two main things that came to me is the inner journeying. We will talk about that as well, because you have the same teachers as I do. We have the same path, really, like with Kevin Campo, we did a lot of journeys. Then with Roel Krabbe as well, who came to the academy, who came to the seminar as a student. We did journeys with him. And this, for me, opened a key, opened a door to this other realm that I had no idea before. I come from a background of like no spirituality in my family, and I was like, wow, we have all these images inside, really? And wow, I want to paint that. And there's a lot of, also through this transformation in Vienna, I had a lot of journeys and with personal images of my personal transformation that were coming out, that I really needed to paint. And that was also the motivation. It was not about just learning the technique. It was like I had to put this on canvas. The other thing that really changed my life really is meeting Antara Dakini, who I painted. I will talk about this, and actually I can talk about it now probably. Who you can see she's calling, and she was calling a community to open the Moondance Austria. So the Moondance Austria is it's a ritual, it's a ceremony, it's a spiritual ceremony that comes from South America originally, and she had the call because she lives in Austria to make it happen in not too far from Vienna. And it's 4 days and 4 nights where we fast. We drink only water, a little bit of lemon juice. And we pray all night by singing the songs. So there was a big opening of the voice. and we do 2 sweat lodges a day, sunrise and sunset. So it's a very deep, transformative ceremony for women. The men are also here to hold. We wouldn't be able to do that without them. They hold the fire, they take care of the water, the teas, etc. So it's a whole community coming together for praying deep, deep prayers for the earth, for peace in all nations. It's very strong, it's very deep. And this also, of course, changed my life, because now this year will be my 9th year to do the dance, and I'm coming back to Austria every year. Because what I forgot to mention is, coming back to the academy then, is that we opened the academy in 2013. We had an amazing adventure for 7 years, and in 2020 we had to close because of COVID, because of the pandemic. And we went back home to our home in France. So we already had our home in France. So that's where we are still based now. And 2 years ago, we decided to reopen the seminars in Italy, because we have the material there and everything is there, and I feel a strong call to collaborate again with other artists and to give, to transmit, to come together as artists with beginners, more experienced artists, all together in one bubble. We call it the bubble, Torri, for 2 weeks or sometimes 3 weeks, we come together and we become this really creative family. Janine, tell me about yourself. I know a lot about your path, but we want to hear it from your perspective, and you can also tell the story how we met. How did you come up to be an artist?
I have a very similar path to you, I think, in many ways, not in all ways, of course, but ways definitely crossed through the Academy of Visionary Art. I wouldn't have met you another way, definitely, maybe. So I was a very, very artistic child and teenager, but then I completely stopped and my life took another turn. I studied, I became a teacher basically in school, but not an arts teacher. And I just abandoned art completely from my life. I didn't find the time. I thought that, like always, when I have more time again, I will paint again. But it never happened for so many years, like almost 10 years. I think I didn't pick up a paintbrush at all. But I strongly felt something was missing from my life. I became very depressed and very low in my energy at that time. And it was in 2017, I still remember. It's been like 9 years,
9 years.
A magical number,
Yes.
the first Moondance, year
exactly.
of transformation. Actually, the year before I started a deep meditation journey, I started to really meditate every day. And like you said before, like images came to me in meditation. I got all these like very interesting visions in this silence. And I started to do small sketches and just didn't know what to do with them. I didn't have the skills or the ability to paint them at that moment, but it was like, you need to preserve that in some way. I'm just sketching it out with pencil, but having no idea on how to bring these complex visions onto a canvas at all. And then I went into a restaurant in Dancing Shiva. Dancing Shiva was at that time a restaurant. And I saw some paintings by Amanda Sage and Alex Gray on the walls, like first time in my life to meet visionary art.
That's why you saw it. Okay.
And I was standing in front of these paintings for a long time and was just amazed on how people can do that, and that what I feel inside is actually put out, and that there is this style of art that I had never seen before that much, just in maybe like a little bit in Dali and the surrealists, connection. And then I immediately, underneath the paintings, I found a flyer of the Academy. And I just went there. It was like an open day, I think, and I met you there. That was the first time I met, and we were talking. And you told me about the summer seminar, and that was perfect for teachers at that time, because it was possible to do for me. And I went there in 2017, met you, met Kevin Campo, got into inner journeying, and Rur Krabbe was there as well in that year. So it opened so many doors for me, so many new ways. I did my first visionary art paintings guided by amazing teachers.
Who were the teachers that year?
Kevin Campo, Northern Sky Morris.
Northern Sky, yes.
Yeah, I really had to think now, because I've been there so many times. But I did a self-portrait as well, so it was also my start into the art, which is an intense one. And in that year I really swore to myself to never stop painting again, because I really knew what I missed and what my soul missed doing so much these years. And I was so happy to finally really learn skills to bring this inside out, to make the invisible visible, and to find the tools as well to express that, but also to find so much more, like you said before, community, like-minded people, inspiration, people who really were leading different lives from my own life, way different. And I didn't even know that was possible in my tiny little bubble and world. It was just like, you're gonna stay in your job forever and just do that, and art is nothing but a little hobby on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and you kept on coming back. I don't remember how many years you came back.
That's the thing. I think it was 5 times by now.
5 times
I was there, and it was just a place that kept calling me. Like you said, it was just a call, and it kept being a call to return and to go deeper. And I went deeper every time, and I felt my art evolving, but not just my art, but also my life change, shift, and transform. And I would have never expected that when coming there the first time. Was just like, let's just paint for 3 weeks, have fun, have a retreat. But it turned out to be a wild ride.
It's a wild ride. It's a place of transformation when we're all together in one studio painting, and sometimes we have the same dreams, and there's a lot of connections, and we're facing ourselves in front of the canvas also a lot, so it's part of the process, but we're in this together, so we hold each other in this transformation, and that's the beauty of it.
That's the thing. And I think for me personally, to be in a room with other people painting, it's like a vortex. The energy just really it's so strong that you feel the flow and the creativity expand and just widen, and it's so much easier to paint in a space like that.
Yes, and that's what we want to give to the participants, because a lot of students tell me sometimes, alone in my studio, it's hard to have the discipline, to have, this time I have breakfast, this time I show up in front of my easel, and you always find something else to do, and finally, maybe in the evening, you finally have the quiet moment to sit in your studio. But coming to a place like that where it's full time, we start at 10. At 10 you need to show up, be in front of your easel and be there. So and everyone does. So it's motivating to be like full time on the easel all day.
Yes,
it's like a gift to yourself, It's like this gift of like giving yourself the time to paint and to learn and to exchange as well.
Definitely. And I think it's also the magic of this place itself, like you mentioned before, this eco-village, which is just like absorbed in nature, and I feel there are no distractions there. It's just us and nature, and like hardly any cars or any outside world calling, no shopping, no consuming. It's all quieted for that time, and it really gives you the opportunity to just create, to just be and to be inspired by the surroundings and by the beautiful river, mountains, stones and trees that are just the only company you have there apart from the artists.
Exactly, it feels very protective, the village is against the mountain, so behind us there's like this grounding mountain, and then there's the valley and the river flows, and there's the energy is just very special there. And we have a really good dog
the
here.
power animals are coming in. Too small to be on camera.
And what I want to mention then, I mean, from seeing you as developing as an artist parallel to myself, and just a few months ago, I woke up one morning. I was like, I want to continue this transmission, and now after some years, I've learned, enough techniques that I can start teaching, and I think it's very important to keep this alive, to keep this transmission from someone who knows to someone who would like to learn, and give that. And when you feel that you're ready to give that, it's beautiful because you convey your passion. You convey your passion instead of just working in your studio. Okay, you do your paintings, great, but you meet other artists. You meet it's very rich. And anyway, coming back to really seeing you develop as an artist, I woke up that morning saying, I want to collaborate with Janine. It's just, it was just a natural thing to put our passions together. Not just because we've been journeying together, and the first time we journeyed together was in that room at Torri Superiore when you came for the first time, and Kevin Campo was giving his journey, and you were describing the journey with a lot of details, and I had started journeying with Kevin as well recently to that time, and I felt this like connection. We're like in the same kind of vibration, so to say, and then now over the years that we've known each other, we're still following the same path. We're painting our higher selves, our power animals. We continue journeying. We do cacao ceremonies, the dancing, and it was just a natural thing to call you to collaborate with me on the seminar. So I'm very grateful that you're answering that call.
I'm very grateful for being called. Yes, definitely.
And you also have experience teaching already. You teach here in your studio.
Yes, and I really feel like I want to say a bit about teaching, because you just mentioned it, and I feel so grateful to every teacher I met through the academy, because it was different teachers, of course, I experienced in all the seminars, and I really feel that every artist can give you a little bit of their magic, you know. It's just by watching them, just by learning how they do it, that your own art always gains something and transforms. And every artist has different tools and has different ideas, has different visions, and if you collect and combine, that's where your own personal artist self can really grow and really come into being from all this. And it's so important, like you said, to pass it on, to show others, not to keep it like hidden in your own little studio, but to show what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, because it's a medicine to the world, and it shouldn't be kept secret. It should go out there.
Absolutely, it's a medicine to the world. That's the perfect way to describe it.
And I felt like, when I didn't mention it, but I quit my job as a teacher. It took a few years. You already mentioned Torri is transformative. You warned me before I came. I remember, like, your life's not gonna be the same. Like, yes, I told you, And it took me a few years. I had to come back again and again until I really took the leap and the jump. Maybe I should show this painting too. But I really have been having this vision then for long. I want to teach. It's something I really love to transmit, to support, but really support people with what I pass on. And it's just been coming more and more that I want to teach art and all the other things I do to pass it on to other people.
Exactly.
So this was exactly the moment where I really stepped into that role and said, like, I want to pass it on and not just do it for myself.
Yeah.
When you started also reaching out to me,
Exactly.
so I'm really honored by this opportunity to share it in the place I love just the most in the world, and to return
with really good food as well. We have to mention the team at Torri Superiore. They take care of us. Like, it's incredible. Very good food, local food, and it's just magic.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
And also what we coming back to what would like to offer together. Because usually we call it the spring seminar or fall seminar or summer seminar. And this year we felt like there is a need, not just to paint, but also to get into yourself. There's so much chaos in the world, right? You open the channel, you open the TV, it's just darkness, it's just chaos. And so we want to really have this, again, bubble, this space where we can come back to our hearts, when we can come back to our soul. So painting is one perfect tool to do that, but since we also like to do other things like dancing and yoga and chanting, we decided to call it an art retreat. It's an art retreat. It's you're gonna be 2 weeks doing all those activities together to be more centered with yourself, to come back to your soul, to come back to your body, to come back to your deep creative self, and that's really what we want to offer.
Yes, you said it so perfectly, and it's just, I think it's so authentic because it's what we do ourselves. So just speaking for me now, I cannot just sit down here and paint. It's not possible. Also, the world is loud, my life is also busy, and all this noise kind of dims the creatress in me and stops me from flowing. So what I do before I paint is like have cacao or sing a few songs, just move, just dance. And I always start my art sessions like this to empty myself, to really be that vessel where everything can flow through. I really realize that more and more when I get silent, that's where the creativity, that's where the spark hits me, that's where the ideas come from. And that's where I want my paintings to come from. And as we both have these practices integrated, as we both feel that they are part of the art, it's just the most authentic way we can do it, to share it, the way we feel it, to share it with our students, to share it with the world, how this is all one and combined and connected to each other, and one just inspires the other. When I sing a song, it inspires my painting. When I paint, suddenly a song comes through and I want to write it, It's just all one.
It's all one, and that's what visionary art is. It's an authentic art. It's an art that comes from the heart, from the soul, and it can't lie because it comes from a deeper source. It's you all have the experience when you pick the brush and you start painting. It's like as if you feel like you're channeling something. It's So that's the core of what we do as artists, especially in the visionary art world. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And we will also lead the participants into journeys, right? We haven't talked about that, but it's also interesting to do journeys to go and find images, but also I also like to lead the students on a meditation on the painting. They sit in front of the easel and they look at the painting, and suddenly it becomes this doorway that has a profound meaning for them. But since it's an authentic process, someone else who doesn't even know visionary art just discovers, will just be attracted or will find something for himself or herself into the work, and that's the authenticity.
Yeah, totally. Even if they don't understand the story behind the painting, they will still get this transmission of the vibration, of the emotions, of everything you put in there. It's just like a mirror coming back out.
Exactly.
So maybe we want to speak a little bit about our art and our topics actually as well, because they're just in the paintings.
Absolutely.
You want to show what you have brought?
The painting is called Abuela Cuepaliztli. Cuepaliztli is my Moondance name. After 4 years of Moondance, you receive your spiritual name. It's in Nahuatl, and so from the South American Aztec tradition. And it means transformation. Cuepaliztli is transformation, and it's linked to the lizard that loses a member and it grows again, and so it's transformation of the lizard basically. There's no lizard in this painting, but the story of this painting is came from the Moondance itself, because one evening before we entered the evening sweat lodge at the Moondance, one of the first few years, probably the first year of the Moondance, the first time I was there. I was just in my tent relaxing for a moment before we entered the sweat lodge, and I had already fasted. It was probably second or third night or something like that, and I felt this very strong presence of her, there's no other way to describe it but a higher self, a higher version of myself, a more spiritual version of myself, a spirit guide, and she was dressed more in white. I put more blues in the painting, otherwise it would be everything white, but she was like dressed in white, long white hair. She had a white owl on her shoulder, and the most beautiful, there was this white deer with golden antlers next to her. So, wow. And I just felt her presence, and I felt her presence coming close to me, and she had sage, she was burning sage around me, as if she was preparing me and cleaning myself before I entered the sweat lodge on that evening. And I was like, wow, like one day I will paint her. And it took some years. Sometimes you have like this really strong vision, and it takes a while to integrate and to finally put on the canvas. So I started this last year, and I finished it just before Christmas, I think. And so you have a lot of elements here. This is the symbol of the Moondance, with the white represents the feminine yoni, the blue snakes for the water, the red snake for the fire, because we work with the elements here. The sweat lodge, the stones, so the earth, the fire, the water that we put on the stones. There's a lot of symbolism in the Moondance. And the prayer bags, all those little bags around the stick, we prepare prayers before we go to the Moondance, and we also receive our stick. And the stick is very symbolic of supporting us to follow this path. So so much to say about the Moondance, but the copalera to burn the copal, to smudges, and we also work with the tobacco. We receive a pipe, it's our prayer pipe, the moon pipe, and I grow my own tobacco now at home. So I dry my tobacco and I smoke my tobacco, and it's prayer tobacco. And just for a little brackets in the tobacco, for me, I never smoked cigarettes before and got into tobacco, but it's also like bringing the healing side of the plant, because the tobacco has been so abused in cigarette and mixed with chemicals and other stuff, that originally it's like, yes, the elders, the Native Americans, they use tobacco to cleanse. It's a sacred plant. So coming back to that, I was like, wow, yeah. So I, of course I did. And I can't say I know what the owl has to say to me, and the deer. And there was this little bat as well. She was like one of the power animals that came to me in one of the sweat lodges as well. And I feel that this painting is kind of some kind of doorway, some kind of key that I still have to decipher. I'm not her, but I'm part of her. In a way,
and she's part of you.
So I need to again maybe meditate more on this painting and get answers, and I will use it as a tool, of like when I'm stuck in my life, or if I have questions or whatever. Which path help me, where should I go? This is also the power of visionary art. They are tools for us to connect to, doorways.
Beautiful. And as you say, like an anchor, you have something that you make like visible, and you take it home and you can look at it every day, and it's just a reminder. You will always think of your experiences at the Moondance, the sweat lodges, this power you felt from your higher self, and you won't forget it by having this image.
Exactly. It's the reminder of the deep healing process.
It's a higher self painting, but it's also connected to power animals like your paintings are. So it's interesting how our topics merge and melt, because it's just one thing,
I know.
And I was painting that in the autumn seminar last time I was there, and I had this vision. It's of the wild woman rising, and it was clear that it became like the wild woman in me who wanted to rise. Who wanted to really express herself. That's why her arrow is actually the guitar here, this creative expression. But as you can see, it's also set in the jungle in Peru, and you can see like Machu Picchu mountain here in the background as well. So it's a whole story that I'm not going to go into too much now, but it was very much also about stepping out of something that was holding me back, which this vine here represents. It's like stepping out of an energy and freeing myself from what was holding me back. And this painting really is magic for me, because it showed me this power of visionary art. I had no idea what I was painting. I had a vision of what the woman should look like, then the jaguar came in, but the rest was just speaking to me while I was painting. And while I was doing that, I actually signed up for a retreat in Peru. I'm working with the plants, and I didn't know what to expect and what would happen, and I didn't know which plant I was gonna get, but it was Bobinsana in the end, which I didn't know at that moment, but it was already like behind me here, like this magic of this heart opening, very grounding plant that accompanied me. And I didn't know until I went there that it actually already had like some future vision in it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the jaguar at that moment was a really important power animal for me. It represents like the fire within and stepping into the power. And it's just a big part of this journey here, and I'm just gonna quickly show the sequel.
If I may, I really like the volume that you achieve also in the the jaguar here with the highlights there. It looks like it's coming out of the painting. It's just like, it's so alive.
Yeah, it's sure. It's like really stepping out. All of us are stepping out here to finally rise. Because that's the that's the sequel that happened this year. So that was
and
like
you put little prayers in the back of the painting. That's also interesting.
Disturbing. It's like a letter to myself. It's a letter to my higher self.
Right.
Which I'm gonna read in a year.
Oh wow!
And yeah, this one was called Wild Woman Rising, and this one came to be called after it was finished because I again didn't know what the journey was taking me on. But it's called And I Rose now, and it's just a year later, and I really felt like through this transformation, through this journey, I could open my heart finally, like really open my heart to life. That's what the roses represent here. And through this heart opening, to finally really step into the true power. Like, it's not fire, it's different now. It's softer, it's gentler, and that's my power. And that's why you can also see here is a deer. It's not a jaguar. It's another animal that has come now to show me my self as I am. Like this very gentle, sometimes shy being that holds a lot of power in this softness.
And a lot of love from inside.
Yeah.
And what about the heron?
The heron, it wanted to come in because I really met it in real life when I was doing that painting. It almost flew into my face from the right side, so I knew it had to be in the painting. And for me, it's giving this rising energy. It was a very snowy winter, very icy, and it was just standing there in the ice and rising and flying, and I felt this energy of lifting, like rising from this cold darkness and just
like spreading your wings, like
right, exactly.
freedom.
Exactly.
Nice. Beautiful. Technique-wise, you're going to teach acrylics, and I'm going to teach oil, so maybe we talk about that a little bit. You want to talk about like maybe your process, what you'd like to convey technique-wise?
Yes, so I work both in oils and acrylics, but I, especially as I've been traveling quite a lot recently, I prefer the acrylics just for me because it's easier to take them with me and they are faster. But I also started to work more with natural pigments now because I want to bring the earth in, I want to bring nature in, and just like experimenting with that also in acrylics now. And what I think is typical of my art and my paintings is that softness from the deer. Is that gentleness, is that very shine through, transparent layer technique, which I also want to show and teach. And it's just about that, every layer gives a different feeling to the painting, and it takes all these layers for it to rise. And the thinner you go, the more opportunities you have to play and to play, especially with organic structures as well. This is also my thing. I want to bring nature into my art and the art into nature. So to let it evolve naturally, to let the water play. And that's what I love about acrylics too. You can use a lot of water and the water will give you patterns, and you can then play with them and create something new out of that.
That's the fun of it as well. Cool.
So you have developed your own approach actually now a little bit in image technique, so I want to say a bit about that.
Exactly, watching our favorite artist who used image technique. I've learned over the years, we were saying, with our friends, artists who were teaching at the academy, and so I experimented a lot with egg tempera, with casein. I also did some acrylics, but I really have my limits with acrylics, so I was like, okay, I'm more like an oil painter for sure. I can say I like acrylics to maybe start a painting, on the flow like this, but it's not what I would like to convey or teach during the seminar. I'd like to really continue transmitting the mesh technique. Last time I was at Torri, I invited Daniel Mirante, who did the mesh technique, and Jonathan Salter, who did the acrylics. And I felt that connection with this mesh technique very strong, remembering Ernst Fuchs, remembering what Lawrence does. He still uses the mesh technique also in his work. And remembering how I learned with Cuba Ambrose and Vera Atlantia, who've always used mesh technique as well, Amanda Sage. And there is something of, there's not that many people actually who worked with Ernst Fuchs who are able to transmit the technique. Now I can't say, I worked with Ernst Fuchs as an assistant later. Not as a secretary assistant, not as a painter. Although I was painting frames sometimes, he trusted me to paint frames. But now that I know this mesh technique and I've experimented with it, I'm like, it feels important to me to keep transmitting that. So for this painting, Antara's Call, that's how I came up with this. How can I work in the mesh technique in a way that's not going to take me months and months or years and years. Because the mesh technique can be just like, you can keep on going forever, glazing, tempera, glazing. When do you finish? Yeah. So I decide, okay, darker background, like normal darker background. And then we will do the white egg tempera, learning the light source. Where is the light coming from? And that's where you enhance your whites. Where is the shadow? And then for the shadows, we will go straight into brown egg tempera. So we will mix both white egg tempera, and the next step will be brown egg tempera to develop the shadow. And this way, before we start glazing, we already have a good base, and we already have a sense of volume of what we want to render. Yeah, so the white and the brown, and then we start with local glazing. That's how we're gonna build up the painting. And yeah, it's also important to learn how to mix the colors, because the mesh technique, you can just get lost into those layers and layers. But like Ernst Fuchs used to say, at some point the painting needs to be painted. So you really mix your color to have a maybe more opaque skin tone if you want a skin tone. But the base that you have underneath of the egg tempera, the white and the brown egg tempera, it gives that deeper base and volume. And it makes things easier as well, because you've already worked out your volume, again, with your light and your shadows. And so it's a question of just adjusting with the right colors and mixing the whole paint and conveying this magical moment that I was talking earlier about mixing the paint. I want to teach that, because put some colors on your palette, play with the paint. It's such a rewarding process.
Yes, definitely. and I think you say something really important here, like of course we want to transmit technique, and as you said, it's so important to conserve it, to keep transmitting it so it doesn't get lost, like of the old masters. And this mesh technique, it's like a really old technique that's been used for a long time, and we won't we just want to keep it alive, and your academy especially has this like aim to really pass it on. And I think it's beautiful that we can convey the techniques to really make our visions visible. But it's also, like you said, we want to have fun, we want to play. It's not just like this strict teaching, like do it like this and it has to be perfect, because that's what keeps a lot of people from painting, in my opinion. It's like, I can't do it, I'm not good at it. Some teacher at school told me, you cannot paint, I never did it again. But we forget how much joy, how much fun there actually can be in the process. Of course, also tears, emotions, like higher self-power, I don't know, a lot can come through. But still, it's more about the process, it's more about what you want to put in, the energy you want to put in.
Exactly.
And that's visionary art also, right?
Yeah.
Then about having this perfect outcome, having like all these expectations of how it should be, but also letting the painting speak, letting the painting evolve, and letting yourself be yourself and let it come through. And I think that's something I really want to transmit to my students. It's like, go away from being perfect, go away from all these high expectations, but let the brush work, let it work through you, let the light stream through, and just see what happens, and watch the magic that unfolds on the canvas.
Absolutely. This is going to be our new slogan, let yourself be yourself.
And watch the magic unfold.
Yeah. And maybe just to finish off, I was having this memory of keeping the flame of the academy. The first day before we opened the academy in Vienna, I went to the Stephansdom, the big cathedral in Vienna, and I just put a little candle there because it was like a big thing for us. Like we had moved country, we found a school for us, and it was like this big change of life. And we were opening this school, we had no idea how it's going to happen. And I just did a little prayer with this candle that for the may the flame of the academy live forever or something like that. I forget where I said, but just like for the flame of this this passionate project that we had. And now I feel like since the academy is closed and we're doing the seminars, I really felt last year and the year before when we reopened the seminar that the flame of the academy is still alive. You know, it's just a question of bringing the people together and we make this flame burn.
Yes, let it keep burning. Thank you so much for sharing that very personal story.
Thank you. So we invite you to come to our seminars from May 8th to 24th. It will be a full 2 weeks retreat where Janine and I will co-teach. So we will take turn. One day Janine will teach, one day I will teach. So we really encourage you to be here for the full time. And of course, like we said, painting and all the other activities that we want to integrate. And check on the website academyofvisionaryart.com.
We'll link it in the description.
In the description, and send us personal messages for questions. We're open to answer your questions.
Definitely.
If you have hesitation, but don't hesitate.
So if you hear the call, I love your painting. If you hear that call, follow it if you can in any way, because it can be very transformative and it takes being brave. It's a step into transformation. It's a step to really look at yourself, to look deep into yourself, and we are gonna go deep with our topics of the higher self, of the power animal. This is really getting to know yourself in all layers, in different layers, and we are gonna be your guides through that.
Exactly.
So looking forward to it.
Live your timeline. I was saying yesterday, Antara was saying the other day, live your timeline, live the life that you'd like to live, without all this pressure from the outside. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm happy you're here.
Thank you for welcoming me in your